Hello and karibu sana watu wa Mungu. Today is another episode of Flashpoint show and we are going to be going through leadership in young adulthood. And with me is none other than the president of African International University in the Student Council, the one and only. Hi, Mr. President.
Hi.
Please introduce yourself.
Well, good. Shadrack Otieno Wasonga, Student Association President at Africa International University. Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's really, really, really nice and bold. I mean, I would be a president, but anyway. So how has how has it been being a president at the Student Council of this school?
Well, it's been challenging. We came in during a season of COVID. Immediately we were sworn in, school was closed. So we've been COVID leaders. So, but it has been an interesting journey. Learning new things. Leadership in a season where no one has experienced it.
Okay.
So there's nowhere to look. There's nowhere to refer from. And so it's just about setting
The pattern.
a pattern or a standard.
It reminds me of King Saul when he just became the king in Israel. He just came in after a period where Israel had been led by judges. And then now he is king. He doesn't have a place to refer from. And the only person he can, ask maybe are the people who've been there before. By the time he actually consulted a medium to know, like, hey, Samuel Joe, be what next? I think it's really bold and a nice step that you've done. Yeah. So according to you, what are the qualities of a good leader, biblically?
Well, according to me, the qualities of a good leader are: a good leader has to be effective. A good leader has to be relational and approachable. The good leader has to be a problem solver. For me, those are the three key qualities of which I really stand by. Yeah.
Okay. And Mr. President, you are studying theology. I mean, everybody sees theology as pastor. If someone is doing theology, he or she is going to be a pastor outrightly. But you're not just doing theology, you're also the president of the Student Council. This is a mix of Bible and politics. So how has that been for you?
Yeah, I am in AIU. I am not a pastor per se.
Okay.
I am a student president or a student leader. So that really means I should relate to every student first of all as a student, and not as specifically as a Christian, because we have diverse groups of students that we are leading. And so politics, well, we got to office through politics, or rather through politicking, for lack of a better term, which is quite a tricky balance, because politics is everywhere. Politics is in church, politics is in the workplace, but doing it with Christ-centeredness. I think that is the key issue here. And that is what we've tried to do it so far, how we've tried to do it so far. And that's how we approach politics, especially in our institution. Yeah.
So, many people think that being a politician means you're going to be corrupt, you're going to do all the bad and nasty stuff we associate our politicians with. But do you think there's a difference? Do you think someone can actually be a politician and not just be a politician, be a like a Christian politician, like having the qualities of a good leader according to the word, and still be effective in politics?
Yeah, definitely. politics is not necessarily bad. Our definition of politics has been made to look bad because of the bad politics we are accustomed to. The academic definition of politics is really the administration and management of people and the distribution of resources effectively. And so what you find people call bad, what you find us calling politics right now is bad governance, bad distribution of resources, and bad management of people. So with the academic definition, you just now get to understand that politics is everywhere. We manage resources wherever we are. We manage families. We manage, we distribute resources. And if we do it right, then that means we can do good politics. So bad politics is the problem, not politics.
Okay. So we should, we should be very conscious that politics in general is not like a bad term. Like people can actually engage in politics, but be effective and good leaders at politics, right?
Yes.
So what's the difference between leadership and politics?
Simply put, I would say a good leader is a good politician, but not a politician is not necessarily a leader.
Okay, nice
so
one.
If you're a leader, you have to be a good manager of resources, good manager of people, and good distributor of resources. So, but what happens right now is we tend to think politics leads to leadership, while it's not. Politics is an aspect of leadership. You're a good leader, that makes you a good politician. But what we know as good politicians is how much you can trick people, how best you can connive, give empty promises, how you can lie. That is what we call a good politician. But in my opinion, leadership has politics, and you can't run away from that.
Okay, so you're saying that all leaders are politicians in a way, but not all politicians are leaders.
Yes, definitely. All leaders are politicians, as long as you're managing resources and distributing them. And as long as you're managing people or communities, you're in politics. That is politics. So how good or bad you do it, then that will inform whether you're a good leader or not.
That's really, really wise, because, maybe for example, when I was in high school and you were a leader over there and you're in charge of, the famous DH, you have to see, you have friends who, you're going to give a better share of bread, and sometimes we overlook that. We don't see like that is politics, but sometimes, most times, you'll find that the leaders whom we've raised in campus and in high school, they're the ones who tend to go into politics. I think them having that background of leadership, they would be able to do better when they're into politics, like now what we generally refer to as politics, that is governance of the country. So do you think people who've been leaders in other areas and have been successful at it, do you think they stand a chance at the politics of the country?
Well, unfortunately, the national politics have really been dirtified, for lack of a better term. And so how capable you are to get or to survive politically is how good you can cheat people, how good you can steal. By the way, it is interesting to note that politicians who happen not to make anything in terms of financial gain during their term, our society calls them names, and they're actually shunned and laughed at because they are seen to be, you didn't use your time, you didn't use that opportunity. and whatnot. But what really they were doing was to maybe serve, and they didn't amass any wealth for themselves. So yeah, I think it is good for young people to consider, but unfortunately our politics have really been
Have been tarnished.
tarnished, and it is not something pretty right now. You have to really be something else to get into it.
That's very true. Because I remember when I was in campus, you know, when there would be elections all over, the people who would get in are the ones who had the most money and would buy people the most alcohol. So if you cannot do that, then you don't stand a chance. But it's so sad, because I think when you do that, we're very short-sighted. You don't see how it will end up eventually, which is really, really poor. I think people should actually be open. But I guess we're expecting some change in the future, you know, in regard to that.
We can only hope and pray.
Yeah, very true. So how have you been able to navigate your faith and politics?
Oh, interesting. My faith and politics. Really, my faith has come to play on how I serve and administer. Am I honest? Am I faithful? Am I true to what I say I will do and able to achieve? And so my faith has come to play on how I serve. So using the gifts that God has endowed on me to serve the students, that has really been of great value in giving leadership. So my faith has come to play in that sense. How I offer leadership to our students, and yeah.
Okay, that's a good one, because I think people don't think that you can be a Christian and be in politics. Like, it's maybe as far as East is from the West, but I think we need to embrace the fact that Christians should also engage in politics. You should also go out there and that you get to express what you believe and what you think is right for the country, you know, in terms of distribution of resources and managing people. I think they actually really stand a chance, and they should not be afraid to go out there. I think what really scares people is, do you think you'll get in how much money you will have to corrupt your way, corrupt people's mind? I think that is very, very, very sad. Yeah. Anyway, other than that, so if someone decides that I want to get into politics as a young adult, you know, right now we are approaching the campaigns, you know, we're going to be having elections soon, and you may have young people out here who would want to engage in politics. So what would you tell them? What have you learned? What have you gained so far that you can actually tell them?
I don't know whether I can talk about national politics. I've only been involved in local AIU politics. But needless to say, I think first people really have to check their motive. The motive really drives everything. Many young people look at politics as a means to gain in terms of wealth and that kind of thing. In my opinion, if you want wealth, go do business.
Hey, if you want wealth, guys, go and do business. Chana na politics.
If you want wealth, go do business. This is why. That means you want to amass, probably for yourself, right? But what we said politics is, good politics rather, is about distributing resources well. That would also mean you would also get to a point where you have to distribute your personal resources, right? And so if the heart is so that I can gain wealth, then you're getting in for the wrong reason. Of course, you'll get money because there's money there.
Well,
But are we talking about good politics or bad politics? So if you're in it for bad politics, well, but my advice would be, as I said, check the motive. The motive will inform everything else.
okay.
But I would really encourage young people to get their motive right and then seek these opportunities to serve. Because if we don't, then who else will?
Yeah.
It is really up to us to take responsibility of our country and really do what God convicts us to do in terms of direction. Yeah.
That is actually very, very true. Which reminds me, let me ask you something randomly. If you had 1 more hour to live, it's 11 p.m. and you are going to be dead by 12 a.m., what would you do for that 1 hour?
Wow. Wow.
Very random.
Yeah, that's what would I do in my last 1 hour? I would want to talk to people. I would want to talk to maybe family. I would want to talk to. I would talk to all, as many people as I can. Yeah, I think that's what I would do. I don't know what I would talk about, but
But you will talk.
yeah, I would just want to say bye, say goodbye. Yeah, maybe say goodbye.
You know, funny thing, Jesus knew he had like very few hours to live. You know what he did? He took a bucket and a towel and he went round and washed the feet of his disciples. I think that brings about the aspect of servanthood, like leadership in terms of serving. You know, many times we think being a leader is you're gonna be the boss, like, yo, do this, do this, do this, do this. People miss out the fact that as a leader, you are there to serve the people, to go for the interests of the people. You know, and that is something that we should take into concern. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I halfly agree, because many times you get into a position of leadership and think I will do what the people want, right? But it's not always that what the people want is the right thing.
Very true.
Not always. And really you find there are circumstances where the people may not get to understand them, and some decisions have to be made, and you as the leader who is there at the moment you're seeing an issue, and this is what the people want, and you are sure whatever they want is not the right thing, but do we do it because that's what they want? No. So you have to have something more convicting you other than the people. And so this is how your faith comes in. This is where God comes in and really gives you guidance and direction in such a place, because it's a sticky spot. You don't know what you'll go back to tell the people because you didn't do what they wanted, but you know the right thing
Is not what they want.
is not what they wanted.
Wow, that is to think, you know, like food for thought. Sometimes what people really want is not the right thing. You know, you're there thinking, I have to serve these people, but really, if that's not the right thing, you don't have to do it for the people.
Actually, if whatever you have done, you have still done it for
the people.
Yes. It's just that they don't know. Or rather, it's just that they think what they wanted was right, but you, depending on the situation, you may be able to know that this is not the right thing for now, or we can wait, or we can do it later, or we can do it now. It just depends on the situation. However, whatever decision you make should be for the good of the people you're serving.
So you've said that if it's for the benefit of the people, you would do the right thing, right? So if you were the president of Kenya, and you know the right thing for the people is because there's no money, you take a loan for them, and you know they are complaining, they are ranting all over Twitter, would you still do it?
If it is for their good, yes, I would. First of all, because it is for their good.
Okay.
If whatever I'm doing, as long as it is going to benefit them, whether they know it or not, I wouldn't have a problem doing it. And by the way, that would give me even more confidence. And so, as long as it is going to be for their benefit, I would certainly do it, and do it again maybe.
Wow, very
And
interesting.
again maybe.
Okay. So you don't mind the Twitter comments and everything, and the memes?
Well, you mean for our president?
Yeah.
Well, I like giving people a benefit of doubt, and that's why maybe I just see the comments. I don't know the circumstances that he's seeing.
Yeah.
I don't know the problem that he may be seeing that we don't. So I tend to kind of give him a benefit of doubt that maybe he knows what he's doing. And then there's some encouragement that he will not be there forever. So I really don't have a problem. I hope he knows what he's doing, and even if he doesn't, he's not going to be there forever.
Okay. Wow. Hey, Mr. President, you have to listen to that. Anyway, so do you see yourself with a future of politics or of ministry?
Well, after my term is done in council, I tend to go back to church. That's really where where I can see right now. Whether I will be involved in national politics or the nation's politics, I don't mind leading in this country. I don't mind doing something in terms of an aspect of leadership in this country. And so if such an opportunity comes, I'll be very glad to do that, or to offer myself. But at the moment, my short-sightedness can only show me going back to church, because church I have really missed fully being involved in church because of being involved in this side.
Okay.
Yeah.
So looking back at your COVID term, do you feel you have served the people of AIU fully?
Fully is now for them to judge. But what I will leave with my head held high is the confidence that I gave my contribution. And that one will give me full peace that I made my contribution at AIU. I made my contribution in the Student Association and the Student Council. You see, we are all building. We can't do everything. You can't do everything and say that whatever you did will never be done and can never. You see, it's continuous improvement. So we hope my council, we have improved the status of the association from where it was, and I am sure someone else will come and also make their own contribution, and hopefully improve the status of the student association. However, I'm really proud of the work we've done in the council. I'm really proud of the team. God blessed me with an amazing team. They are just a joy to be around. I really love those guys. And so I'm proud of them. Every win, I credit it to them. I can take the losses. I can take the mistakes. Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. So finally, to the people who are aspiring to join school politics, you know, people who are in school and campus and they want to go the politics direction, what would you tell them?
Well, this is a great opportunity for you to learn, for them to learn. It's a great opportunity for them to learn, a great breeding ground. I have really learned a lot. I have learned so much. I was sharing with you earlier, I was wondering, how was I leading before? Because I've been in different places of leadership before I came to council. But I've learned so much from the various administrators, the vice chancellor. This is wisdom and knowledge you don't get from a leadership class. And so I took this opportunity as a practical course in leadership. And so my approach was, I'm coming in to learn myself and also to learn others and how to lead. And so it's a good opportunity to learn, and I would encourage anyone, if you're able, not to fear, to just throw yourself in there. Whether you win or not, you will have learned something.
Very true. Very, very true. Thank you so much, Mr. President, for your time and for that invaluable wisdom. You know, I have learned a lot personally. I mean, that has been really mind-blowing. I mean, there's good politics, there's bad politics. And, you know, if you want to gain, if you want to amass wealth, go into business. And there is so much more that you would have picked. So would you please share with us in the comment section, tell us what you have picked, what you have learned, what you would like to apply. And don't forget to share this to everyone who you think should see this. And would you please subscribe for more insights. As I log out, I'm leaving you with my favorite verse of this season, Proverbs 16:3 from the Passion Translation, that before you do anything, put your trust totally in God and not in yourself. And then everything that you do will succeed. That is it for this show. Keep it Flashpoint.